Welcome back to another installment of the Talos Principle 2 blind playthrough. This is part 5. We are going to be starting the Flooded Valley, which is North 2, aka N 2. So in the last episode, episode 4, I certainly got tripped up on being a little bit too headstrong and thinking things needed to flow one way rather than thinking in the Talos way of not everything is what it seems, maybe work backwards a little bit. And yeah, drilling party had its way with me. Let's just put it that way. But in the end, I found it out, and I think I will have grown from that. Let's hope I have learned a thing or two from that experience. And then a couple other mishaps, like just not paying attention inside of a puzzle, missing out on some little details. So attention to detail will be key, but it's a puzzle game. Shit happens. It's all part of my playthrough, so it is what it is. Let's continue, though. Part 5, Talos Principle 2. Let's play. Where is it at? It's right there. It's right there. Just finished Split Second series finale, so that's done. That was a blast. I highly recommend it if you haven't played that. Oh, it looks like something weird with my mustache. Anywho, 13 hours and 50 minutes. I am going to start the Flooded Valley. I did kind of want to go back and look for some stars. I might save that. I am curious about finding some stars from earlier that I said I'd go back to later. I still will, but I think for now I'll just stick with Flooded Valley. But I did travel here last episode, so we're here. Let's see if there's anything to catch up on social media research-wise. I think we're good there. Maybe we just have a quick chat with... Is this Melville? No, this is Al.
Hello.
What's up, Big Al? Hey, what's up, Al? Did you know the founder?
I sure did.
Waste no time.
Not as well as Byron.
Question him.
She was still around when I was born. I remember she came and talked to me after New Alexandria. Told me how sorry she was. I never blamed her for that. It wasn't her responsibility.
What was New Jerusalem like when you were born? What did you think about the body verification tech? Tell me about it. Let's stay on the topic of New Alexandria.
For some reason, we'd convinced ourselves that New Jerusalem wasn't enough. That we needed another city. We thought it would be easier the second time around. All it takes is a little bit of arrogance and a little bit of ignorance, and people die.
Damn. Yeah. What did you think about Miranda's idea that it's our duty to spread life?
Our ancestors thought they could introduce new species to existing ecosystems, and it never turned out well. Like a lot of things Miranda says, it sounds pretty, but once you think about it, you start seeing the problems.
Sure. What was New Jerusalem like when you were born?
A lot busier than it is now. My most defining memory is that it was extremely noisy, because something was always being built. Got annoying after a while.
I get that. And what did you think about the body replication tech?
It seems like something that could very quickly get out of control. You know that saying about good intentions? If we can solve problems by just making more people, how long before people just become a problem-solving tool?
All right, Al. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Hey, baby. Welcome. Make sure your chat gets shown. Let's look into... There it is. All right off the bat. Another X marks the spot. 3X marks the spot. Will my interface take a picture for me? Pleasure chatting with you. That's funny because I said Al. Okay. Taking a reference photo. Awesome. Let's just get right into the puzzles. I'm sure they're going to be hard. They've started to slowly kick my ass. But that's the beauty of Talos and puzzle games. It ain't always going to be pretty. But as long as you get it done, that's what matters most. To me, at least. Let's start. Absorption. Accumulator. What does that mean? Accumulator. We accumulate the emitter's beam inside of this ball, this edgeless safety cube, and let's see if I can. What happens when you combine? Let's let it. Now, what happens here? We have a conflict. They're just both emitting their beams. I can keep the connection, discharge it. Wait, okay, hold on. I need to discharge this, I thought. Let's discharge this up. Okay, I do think I see the solution, actually. So I think if I just do this... Huh? Technically speaking, since this is God damn, the graphics. This is charged now. So it's not like it needs it. This should, in theory, keep it open? Okay. Interesting stuff. Let's just connect her. Okay, I've given them genders. Take accumulator. Let's discharge it. You have to set it down to charge the accumulator. We can then take it and power it. Okay. Right off the bat, pretty simple concept. Per usual, they start off simple and then they destroy me when they start getting complex. Very interesting, though. They're like portable connectors.
We used to explore just like this. Small groups setting out for the horizon, looking for resources, trying to make sense of the world we'd been thrust into, trying to find a way forward. It was a hard time, but I can't deny that it was also exciting. I think it's part of our nature to be wanderers. Our ancestors crossed entire oceans on flimsy wooden boats, just to see what else there was.
Is it weird to feel nostalgic for a time I never experienced? I just think I could have contributed so much more back then.
It's not weird, but it wasn't all sunshine. People died. Yemo, Calvin, Isaac.
I know, Al. They were family to me.
Sorry. It didn't mean to reopen old wounds.
It's a legitimate point, but I don't think it invalidates the sense of wonder we felt. That's what kept us going.
Yeah, man. You know, they might be robots, but they have scars too. They have what is perceived to be feelings. Okay. First off, I wanted to note how beautiful this place is. I mean, I love winter in general. I love the cold. So this is like right up my alley. Gosh. All right. We took it in. Puzzle number 2. Right away I see an RGB converter. Triptych? Triptych? So, I just love the setup. I haven't even thought about solving it yet, but I just love how there's like 2 beams. I love it. Anyway. So I'm curious just to see how this behaves. Can I reach two things? Yes. So while that's good and all, I think we're gonna have probably like an issue when it comes to beams. Because in a perfect world, I could just do this and create green, although we have a beam issue. And then I could also technically do this. Still gives me green, beam issue. So now we have to think about, well, not that. Let's discharge this. Wow, what a cool concept. So that's the obvious thing. What about if we did, say, red? No more beams in the way. Although I'm not really seeing how this helps me yet. That equals my green that I needed. Right, I gotta remember you gotta discharge this thing. We can make either color. Nothing else in here, right? Attention to detail, my friend. Yeah. This is just pure logic based. You're always going to have a beam issue. What does a beam mean? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's maybe leave it like that first. You need that to create that. Although technically you don't. It's definitely a good little puzzle. I feel like I shouldn't already be tripped up, but you know what? Fuck my brain. I'm thinking that way. New technology. Gonna just have to try a couple of different things. I like that idea. That is so cool. It stays juiced up. Blue-red makes that. But that kind of ends our creation, if I'm thinking of this correctly. This method is the one that can give us at least two. And again, what happens here? We have a conflict. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, that's a good little puzzle. No, we don't need to keep the connections. There's no height. No height stuff going on here. You're always going to have the conundrum of the crisscross. So in a perfect world I'd have, it's certainly not a perfect world. Let's start with like a one thing. It's the most simple puzzles that are typically the hardest for me. What am I missing here? The RGB converter. Okay. What if we instead gotta start thinking outside the box a little bit. Let's keep the connections. And technically, I don't know if I actually need this. Let's work on... Let's make this screen. Now, what does that do for me exactly? It allows me to then do this, right? Aha. That's good. That's a good puzzle. Had to think outside the box a little bit. I like that. I'm proud of myself for being able to think of that. I mean, the idea is there, but this is such a new concept of the accumulator. You got to remember that. It can accumulate any color if it's created or already, you know, hardwired in the puzzle, if you will. That's cool. We updated something. Proposal: bring back dogs. Ah, Franklin. Thread title says it all. We should de-domesticate dogs. Our ancestors loved dogs so much. They insisted they were amazing companions, full of life and love. Man's best friend. And the lives they lived with humans must have been infinitely better than in the wild. So why not bring them back? Did you know that the poet Lord Byron wrote a beautiful poem about his dog, Boatswain? He said he had beauty without vanity, strength without insolence, courage without ferocity, and all the virtues of man without his vices. Is that who our Byron named himself after? No, he named himself for Robert Byron, the travel writer. That's great, but what about my idea? We should breed them back, except pugs. They're better off being wolves. Yeah, why not? It's a good idea. Dogs were a beautiful creation. The resources we waste on our cats are bad enough. Whoa. And you know what cats do to local bird populations? Do we really want to add dogs to that? Yes, we do. Oh, sod off with the cats are so terrible business. What do you think happens in the natural world? Do you think animals don't eat each other? I would love to have a dog. We would go on walks together, and it would be excited about every new smell. And we would play fetch. It sounds magical to me. Labistros, however you pronounce his name. He's just chilling in the grass. Seems like a laid-back fella. All right, 2 puzzles deep. I wonder if North 2's number 8 puzzle will destroy me. I look forward to it. 3 is this way. I see a Prometheus spark. I see a coot. We're gonna hang on, hold off on talking to Yakut and see about getting this. Is this a parkour? It is. A little parkour madness. All right. A little hardcore parkour. Let's go into 3. Crossing. We have a jammer. We have a static fan. And I just mean that I can't remove it. It's always on. It's static to me. We have an accumulator. We have a red receiver. And yeah, we're going to need to power this red receiver to lower this gate. It's not a force field. It's that. So jumping into there would give us the hexahedron. And it's static, so we would be able to come back out with it. Let's I guess start with that. We do have a jammer to think about too. Oh, and you know what? I didn't see this. Again, attention to detail. We have a blue emitter. Just call me crazy, but no. Okay, cool. It works how I thought it does. So we can jam this. Let's just look ahead. And then we have this, which gives us a blue receptor, which would shut this down. Seems like the typical next path. How does one get access to that blue besides it jumping in the air? Let's not focus on that. Let's bring the hexahedron in. We're gonna need to get it accumulated. It doesn't need to keep doesn't need to keep a connection. Makes me wonder if I can just in midair. No, you can't hold it. Maybe I have to put it on the hexahedron. And maybe that's enough time in midair. Let's actually just test that theory before we move ahead. Well, that's a problem because as soon as I set it on there, it's gonna fly. So I don't think that is the intended method. Okay, back to the original plan. What do we have in here besides... Yeah, so we're clearly going to need to power this baby up. Alright, I'm going to be right back. And then we will continue the third puzzle. So, BRB. Okay. I'm back. So where were we? Trying to solve the third puzzle. Now, I've seen Accumulator pause the game, go to map, and it shows you the name here. I don't think you're blessed that way on PlayStation. So that sucks, but that's all good. I'm gonna run out real quick, and this is called Crossing. Crossing. Yeah, it seems like the end goal is going to be getting the jammer through to unlock this to just accumulate and pop. I think the main bulk of this puzzle is going to be me trying to figure out how to acquire the accumulator. Yeah, nothing pretty like that. And I definitely don't think that, yeah. Crossing. Because this doesn't line up with that. So I'm not going to be able to say do this. What kind of abstract ideas can you create with that? Interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking about... Girl, I've been thinking about... Because I can't... That would be the idea, huh? And nothing's coming to me yet. Certainly nothing is coming to me yet. And I would just use the accumulator for that amount of time so that I could grab this jammer, unjam this, probably jam from the inside, undo the accumulation of the blue, get red, go there. Yeah, so like I thought, it's about figuring out how we can get crossing. I wonder how amount of time it needs to see it. Usually when something seems severely obvious of a solution, but it's just not there, how does one achieve such a thing? I mean, in my head, the only thing I can think of is, well, the idea is that I need to get it like this in midair. I think it just needs to see it for probably the length of time in the air. But holding it doesn't keep the connection. Right? There's no midair trickiness. That was weird. Whoa. And again, there is no trickiness there, huh? Forgot about that. This really isn't all that confusing. Damn, man. See? It's the little things. It's the little things. You gotta remember what a jammer can do. What can a jammer do? It fucking jams things. You jam the damn fan. I really hope it's as simple as that. Ah, now it's accumulated. Okay. It's accumulated now. So we'll take this hexahedron, send it back. Take this, jump back with it. I do think it's as simple as that. Wow, I can't believe I missed that little detail. Like I said, if it seems like the answer is obvious, but you know the physics won't work, there's something you're missing. At this stage, I should be able to come through and jam from this side. Or not even that, technically. I don't even have to jam from that side yet. Let's just discharge this. Let's open up this. Let's take this. Let's charge that. Beautiful. Let's put this down. Undo this. Take this. That should be the answer. It slipped me for a little bit. It slipped me for a little bit. But I got it. Jammer. Jammer.
There's so much history here that we can't see. The founder must have walked these paths hundreds of times, maybe thousands. Miranda must have stood right where we're standing. This all looks alien to us, but it must have been familiar to them.
If this was their home, where are they now?
Terminal over there.
They must be inside the megastructure, waiting for us to pass the test. It's the only thing that makes sense.
I kind of agree with that. Is that like too simple of a solution? Like, yeah, they're in the megastructure. I guess as of right now, I believe that too. Wellspring. Right off the bat, we have a connector. We have a red source. I see a blue source down there. I see an accumulator. I see a red connection there. A red receiver, that is. We also have a blue receiver in there. A receiver in... Oh, I'm sorry. A connector in here. Complex puzzle. Well, let's just take what we can have. You're not gonna be able to shoot potentially any which way this way. Should our first goal be to get blue in here? Probably to get the accumulator. And if that's the case, how does one do that? I think blue was here. Technically speaking, I don't know if it can see it from here. I'm thinking not. I'm thinking there is an angle actually. There's our angle. Want the rest of this cottage cheese? No, I'm good, sweetheart. Thank you though. I'm okay, thank you. Now, you can't take this guy out of here. So tell me the relevance. It might be that. It might be end goal. But let's not skip ahead to end goal. For now, let's just charge this guy. Yeah, let's just charge this dude. I really don't see a point of charging this door. Again, I don't think I missed anything in here. No windows of opportunity. It's just to get the accumulator. So I'll keep it blue just because I don't have any other idea yet. We'll drop this off. Our next goal is probably going to be red. Actually, let's disconnect that. Red was here. You don't get too much of a distance with red, so we'll just stick it. That's out of sight. Let's do... God damn it. How about that? I gotta see the rest of the puzzle, actually. So, what is my goal? My goal is to get red here. Well, isn't that a tricky son of a bitch? No. Perhaps. No, I don't think it's as tricky as I'm making it to be. I think what I can do is take this accumulator and discharge it and make it... Let's connect it to here. Let's make this a red now. Okay, now we have red. I don't know if it really matters where this guy is. We have angles. Yeah, we have angles. Alright, so we have end. The end is open. Let's think about how can we see... I might have to move it there. Because the accumulator is like taking a source emitter and then just placing it wherever you want in the terms of what the puzzle gives you. Within the confines of the puzzle. That is nice. Yeah, so we'll need that guy like in this window. These big daunting puzzles, they need to be taken slowly, patiently, just step by step. You try to think of the sum or the answer before it's done. You end up just overwhelming yourself, and this is coming from somebody that does that often. And then you get tunnel vision, and once you get tunnel vision, you might as well kiss it all goodbye. I learned that in N1's number 8. Let's give Yakut a chat. It's been a while, buddy.
Miranda
Eventually.
is the founder's daughter. It's
Yes.
still kind of blowing my mind. She came all the way out here, left everything she had behind, and created a new life. Why do you think she did that?
I really don't have a clue, but creating life is beautiful. Let's try it.
Miranda is certainly amazing, at least from what she sounds like. I can imagine that it must feel very special to be her parent. On the other hand, we're not like ancient humans. We're not born as babies. Would you have preferred to have a family?
See, I gotta think from the instance of a robot. 1K's perspective. I don't think he really cares. He's a puzzle solver. That's what we be doing. Nah, I prefer this for myself.
See? Our way does have its advantages.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about something else. Let's. How are you feeling? Okay.
I'm not sure, to be honest. This is all so surreal. Walking around here is so peaceful, but it's also, I don't know. One moment I feel inspired, the next, kind of creeped out.
It's fair. Why is the northern part of the island mostly underwater?
Our ancestors relied heavily on fossil fuels for energy generation, which released a lot of carbon dioxide. This caused the atmosphere to trap more heat, which changed the planet's overall climate. The effect continued even after they were gone, and these low-lying areas were flooded. I've seen a lot of places like that.
Did you ever meet the founder?
No, I never did. I would have loved to.
Same. Have you changed your mind about trying some puzzles?
Nope.
And what did you make of the mega structure's interior?
You know, people throw around the word awesome a lot. I probably do it too, but I think what we saw in there is the proper meaning of the word.
I agree. That's all, buddy. It was pretty awesome in there. All right, good chatting with you, Yakut. Let's go to 5. I really like the accumulator. It is like a mobile emitter, if you set it up correctly. I see a puzzle there. I see a puzzle there. Here we are. I love this though. Gosh. I think I've been spoiled so much by beautiful scenery and these large architectures that I'm almost becoming numb to it. It's like, it's not that it's not impressive anymore. It's just that I'm used to it. It's like, oh, just another giant freaking building, tower thing. Balance of forces. And we have an accumulator. So I just need to remember what an accumulator does. And why it does it. This is an interesting thing. Set up. Just... And that powers on the fan. I don't know why yet. Probably to help me get over this wall without needing these things. I did power the accumulator, so why don't we try... There's no angle there. But that doesn't keep this unopened, does it? No, we still have that problem. It seems like it's a transporting device, potentially. Like you transport stuff over. There's another aspect to this puzzle, and it's in here. This opens up our goal. That's interesting, huh? I like this tree. Yeah, so we're gonna need... Okay, I might be seeing something here from an angle, potentially. We do have height. Now let's... Balance of forces. Are we going to be creating another back and forth loop again? Interesting. Let's shut that down for now. It's starting to seem that way. Now what I'm thinking is that when this gets sent over, that's problematic. That's a good point. Forgot about that, huh? That's a good point. I still think the idea is there. Gordita. Hey, Gordita. We are in the Into world on puzzle 5. This is Balance of Forces, and I'm just now kind of working it out a little bit. This reminds me of Gehenna a little bit. I'm thinking of a little back and forth shimmy here. I love that. But it's a little bit problematic. I need to work through the logic a little bit more. Removing this gets rid of that. So I do feel like I want you back, Michael Jackson style. Skadoo-doo-doo-doo. What is this doing? Oh, I'm an idiot. Well, I know I'm not. I don't want to say that, but I thought I tested this and I didn't think it did that. Okay, this... It kind of makes a bit more sense. Let's hide you around the corner so that we have a chance. Now, let's just think what occurs when this... You can see that, right? Yes. You will power this fan. It will fly. While it flies, it will power that and hit that. I really do think that's as simple as it gets. Let's hope that works. Yep. We have a open field. In the first world of Road to Gehenna, we did this. And I'm so glad they brought this back. As long as the logic checks out, I should be able to walk through and finish the puzzle. Awesome. How's it going? It's going well. It's going good. How are you doing there, Gordita? I appreciate you asking. We're doing good. I love me a good back and forth. That's... Besides Pendulum, which was in Road to Gehenna, Pendulum was probably my favorite puzzle. I loved open fields, bouncing back and forth. It's so cool, man. The physics are so cool. Okay. Yakut, we chatted. I'm a little bit over you right now, buddy. I need you to keep your distance. All right? Ah. Moran ran. Let her talk while we run.
Is it possible that on some level, people want to believe that everything's going to get worse? That it's comforting
That's
to
Athena.
think that humanity is bad and every solution will just go
Aaron.
wrong. Because that way you're never responsible. You never have to take on responsibility for anything outside yourself. Never have to grow up.
She has a much more serious tone in this game, it sounds like. Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance. We have a green. Ooh, we're gonna involve the driller now. I'm getting flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks to N1's number 8 puzzle, drilling party. They aren't good flashbacks. I don't think you can reach. Well, regardless, I could technically do this. What does that do for me? I don't know. It's just the fact that I could do it, so I did it. It does look like that's the final... Oh, we need a both situation here. We can do a 2-jobber with you. which allows us to get the RGB converter. On one hand, I'm super excited that we're starting to combine these technologies. Is that a fair word? These new items. But on the other hand, it's a little bit daunting, to say the least. Now, you are powered up for me. And I really don't think... Well, no, you might still be needed, actually, in some way or another. RGB converter wouldn't do it, potentially, unless there's some weird angle. It could technically, potentially, do something over there. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's just take the driller. God damn it. And then we have another connector. Can the driller drill from here? It would appear not. Can the driller drill through any of these purple walls? It would appear not. It does appear that I am able to carry this driller around and bring it into a usable area, which I only see one drill wall in this puzzle. So... Okay. I have some ideas. I'm thinking a bit... I don't know if blue is what we want. I don't really want to waste a connector in here, but luckily we have the power to drop this through, come around, power this sucker, stick it back through. Now we have a portable green Now let's think about how we can utilize this most efficiently. If I stick you here and give you a blue emitter, no, we have a line of sight issue. It's not going to be like that. And what is our goal again? Blue and red at the end. So I can see why green got involved. Sure. This is interesting that these are all in the line of sight. The driller... I'm not going to say it's useless yet. It could be more of like a plate thing for now. If I go with this logic. If I go with this logic. So like right off the bat, blue can be finished there if that's what we wanted to do. If that's what we wanted to do. And if blue is there and green is here, then we can use this guy to finish it. You're getting a little sleepy, so I'm going to watch till I fall asleep. I love you. I love you too, baby. Let's think about this. Why don't we just try setting this up real quick? It seems a little too good to be true. But technically speaking, are we done? We're done. I wonder if this could be solved in another way. I feel like I didn't utilize this. I don't care because it's done. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for hanging, Gordita. Thanks for supporting me.
Melville?
What is it now?
Even though you're a big famous
Why did you upload a
streamer.
picture of your hand?
Why do you care that my hand is in the picture?
Your hand isn't
Oh.
in the picture. It is the picture.
I like it. It's very artistic.
What do these mean?
Let's stay professional, everyone. It's not right to make fun of Melville's comically absurd inability to take decent pictures. She's
Damn,
a
Byron.
hyper-advanced humanoid machine, not a photographer.
You'll pay for this, Byron.
Part of me feels like she's not joking. I feel like there's an evil side to Melville. Then again, Doge is 666, so maybe he's the evil one. Alright, I'm getting silly. What is this? This is 7. Rainbow. Good God Almighty. Okay, we dealt with something similar. I think it was the second puzzle, which had me for a little bit, but not very long. 2 RGB converters and an accumulator. We have a red and a blue emitter, and then we have green, blue, red, blue, green receivers on the walls. Oh, I love it. I hate it. Last time I used the logic of, let's just take what's obvious. This is obvious, right? That's the obvious thing to do. Why don't we back this up even more? Just to give us a little bit more thinking space. The obvious choice isn't usually the right choice, but I want to just get shit on the board. Now, I can do a couple of things. I can, any of these 3 colors, I have the choice to accumulate. It's going to be a matter of which one do I want to do. If I did green, let's not do green, because if anything, green might want to be this guy. Maybe. Now, if I did blue and combined it, well, here's the thing, is blue itself could emit while I may not want to put it right there. Anyway, let's just see what the fuck happens. Let's just start with that. The old guard trick of see what the fuck happens. Doing this makes you red. So if I had pre-connections to red, it would be shooting in the middle. I don't know if I like that. If I took red with the green, it makes the blue. Let's just keep trying different things and hope one of them sticks. You're going to create blue, right? Oh. And you would create red? I think we just have a bit of an angle issue. Look at that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Make sure all that gets on the screen there. It's so pretty. Awesome.
Congratulations, 1K. That was a hard one.
It was hard, but I solved it kind of quick. I really like the logic of that. Social media, my farming obsession. So I've been playing a ton of this old Gehenna game called Ancient Human Farmer. The title says it all. It's a sort of simple farming simulator. Maybe not the most sophisticated game, but I'm getting really obsessed with it. And I'm having some sort of emotional response to it that I can't exactly explain. Like, it makes me happy, but also sad. Does anyone have any idea why this is happening to me? I'm feeling emotions. Why is this happening to me? That's funny. The game appeals to you because of the human need to commune with nature. To live a lifestyle that's not about dominating the world, but coexisting with it. You are sad because we can't ever return to being who we used to be thousands of years ago, but happy because it reminds you that at least something similar is still possible for us. Maybe it's because the people of Gehenna, despite their imprisonment, had an innocent view of the world that's permanently lost to us. I think it's actually the opposite of what I'm hoping his name is Ovi. Shout out Ovechkin. Is saying, even if it's not, if it's Ovis, I'm going to call him Ovies because Ovechkin. Anywho, these games are enjoyable because they take us back to a time when we still had agency, when we could build things, grow things, when we could impose our will on the world instead of being completely powerless and inactive. What you crave is the ability to contribute to humanity in real, material ways, and you are sad because just simulating it is not enough. You don't want to farm. You want to be a pioneer, as we humans were born to be. It's just a game. Don't overthink it. I agree with Pellegrino. There's the first time for everything. I don't know. Why are you overthinking it? This game makes me mad and happy. I don't think there's a deeper meaning to it. I think sometimes I'm smart and sometimes I can be a dingus. As Akinar would say, don't be a dingus, kids. Never be a dingus. And then I like to add, I think he should make a t-shirt that says, don't be a dingus. And on the back it says, never be a dingus. And then underneath it in small print, not even once. Or like crack, not even once. Am I going the right way? 8. No, we are here. We are home. Never. Okay, I will try not to be a dingus. Never, not even once. Remember. I mean, that's kind of perfect, right? Remember, kids. Oops, too late. Okay, so this is called Remember, which is something I suffer with doing. Suffer with doing? Right off the bat, we can give that a red connection. Why would I want to? I'm not sure yet. Don't ask me that. But we do have essentially a mobile red emitter. Remember. What is our end goal? We need red here. We can't see it. However, if we remember this, we can potentially just break this. Is it enough? Yes, it's enough. When we get to see our one case big old noggin. That allows us into here, which... That's cool. Alright, we now have revolving walls with a receiver on it. Look at that. And what are we powering? Potentially this side? We can create independent... yeah, I guess independency. Then we're going to need that over here. Remember. I think this is probably a later step. Because, sure, I could potentially pre-connect it, but I think that's a little later probably. We still haven't interacted with these fans, but remember. Now, what's interesting is that we could... No. Yes. Okay. We brought this into here. We can get this out. Oops. Okay. Now we have Hex Accumulator with a red charge. In fact, I think what I'll do is just try to get these guys over here. Do we really need to turn it around is the question. If we have things over here... Well, yeah. Perhaps. I don't think it's going to... What is that really doing for me, though? Because in reality, if I pick up that, I lose the source that I came with. Oh, there's a little tricky. That's a little tricky. Why don't we, I think this will create a redundancy. if I tack this onto it. Am I thinking of this correctly? And why is that relevant? We're gonna want you on this side. Remember, it says. I'm like afraid to pick it up. Yeah, okay. There's exactly the logic that it should be. It makes sense. Now, why is this relevant? Remember, it says. So why don't I go back and think about what I'm trying to remember? So it's a fairly simple puzzle. Is there any sort of benefit to being down here? Well, if we did this, that would power the door. And it might be able to see all the way down. I think you're close, but I'm not even sure if I'm right. No worries. Just, you know, ever so kindly keep it to yourself. I'm working. I'm not stuck. I'm just thinking. I'm okay with this extra connection here. No, I'm not. I hate when there's unused things. Let's just stick this guy in the corner so we have the best viewing angle, if you will. So, right. But what I can do now is have this turn around, and I can go and get my receiver now. I mean, connector, right? Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, this is such a good game. You're also thinking, I know, sweetheart. I really want you to play this game just when it's time. You know what I mean? What a good puzzle. Am I at the right angle? Yeah, usually this occurs because I'm just not close enough to the oops. That should be it. Well, I did solve it, but what was your idea if it's not the same that I have executed? Let me lock this bad boy in. I really do think that's how they intended it to be. Remember that there's a connector at the beginning. So again, this was the whole working backwards thing again, because I suffered tremendously on Drilling Party and not thinking that way, not thinking in the Talos way, not being one with the Talos principle. But yeah, I do want to hear your idea, baby. I never understood that when I hear the music and I sing to it, it's right on, but then when I watch it back, it's always like off. I don't understand why that's occurring. This is a great puzzle. No one says you can't get on here on your account on the PlayStation and play this game as well. No one says. All right, I'm sure you're typing, love, but I'm gonna step out real quick. Is that a lost puzzle? Oh. Not the way. When you have the accumulator powering the gate, I was thinking if you switch the roles of the connector and the accumulator. Right. And I think I was thinking the same thing when I had it like here and here. But how do you switch the roles? I technically did switch the roles by leaving this powered via the accumulator, taking the connector all the way back, connecting it back to having another source so that I could do it. But it wouldn't be possible because every time I would pick up the accumulator, it was acting as my source. I would lose this wall, thus not letting me in there. Yeah, I'd lose the connection. I had the same idea as you, so I was actually trying to do that. But I had to think in the Talos way. So I've kept to the straight and narrow on this in this area, Flooded Valley. I have not really gone off the beaten path, but it looks like there's a lost puzzle over there. I haven't really looked for anything. I haven't done much exploring. Is that what is this? Is this 7? Okay. Yakut. I'm starting to recognize y'all by color. We've already chatted. 6. Have I done that? Is there a number? Yes, 5. You know what I need to do? Look at your mini-map or your compass. Do it. As Gus Fring would say, do it. Walt's puzzled face. Do it. I love this biome, if you will. Is this a lost puzzle? It is. Yay, I love lost puzzles. They're hard. Field of view. Do it. Yeah. Accumulator. 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 I'll see you later. Accumulator. An inverter. Oh, God. They're really doing it. They're really doing it now, Mr. Krabs. And there's the end. Oh, man. I like the short and sweet ones because they're usually the hardest. The bigger ones are like more daunting, but you just work through them. But these ones are like mind benders. So I'm assuming that I'm gonna wanna probably power these suckers up and bring them down yonder. Red and blue, blue and red. How do we want to make this work? Well, we know we can go red to red, blue to blue, but we have there is potentially a field of view that this can see. Right there, they can see each other. If they're going to do blue, they need to intake. It's going to be inverted. So that's interesting. That causes some issues. Now doesn't it? Now doesn't it, Bobby? Let's just start messing with stuff. Let's just connect this and see what happens. Right, it inverts. Blue is not going to be your guy. Blue's not going to be your guy. This would be your guy. There's no field of view here. Now, any of these, though, can be on the outside. It doesn't necessarily have to be my inverter, so I don't want to get caught in that way of thinking. I could do accumulator on the outside as well. Alright, there's an idea. But, yeah, how is one going to get... They all lead to that door. Same thing here. This is when we just have to start thinking. This juicy stuff. The thing about it is that we have 3 objects and 4 connectors, so something's gonna have to do 2 jobs. It could technically... Right, that would solve that one issue. This is gonna be fun. What if we had something like intermediate? This would allow me to do red. How does that help me? Not entirely sure yet. We're gonna have to do some big thinking here. In a perfect world, do you connect? Let's do some breaking up. Let's deselect you and then just right. All right. So you would go into red. Probably couldn't do both. That would resolve that, and this would resolve that. That sounds too good to be true. But we're gonna have a laser issue, aren't we? Right. Or we have a crisscross conundrum. Let's ensure I'm not missing an extra item in here. That would be a bit silly. No, this is all about brain power and brain thinking. But I might be able to just move this a little bit more. Ah, you're just a little too big. Ah, there it is. Yeah. It felt right. It felt like I could create the angle. How cool is that? Interesting. What a cool structure. Wait, what is that? Sick. Good puzzle. I'm going to head in the general direction of the next question mark. Maybe I'll find a ancient object, I think it's called, along the way, potentially. A lot of forest. Let's do these question marks first, actually. 4. Yeah, I know I saw this earlier, so let's do some readings. Eyes are starting to get a little burny, if you will. I see the terminal. I'm gonna check that out, but see, what the hell is this? Oh. Huh. Wasn't one of the things I saw here 3 X's? Could be a certain order. One of the X's had a circle around it. I can't zoom in on that. Yeah, so there's an X, and then there's an X. X marks the spot. One of them has a circle on it. So I'll just turn that thing on for now. And see what the hell happens. Let's see what we got. Ah, Licia 05, just an audio log.
One of the most foolish illusions that commonly persist is that nature is a victim and humanity is a perpetrator. This can only be the opinion of someone who has not witnessed nature at first hand, who has not seen its immense and awe-inspiring baseness. Nature is mindless chaos and eternal conflict. A system of predation and consumption whose perfect cruelty can only induce a terrified and unwilling admiration. Nature is our most powerful and least honorable enemy. A beast that consumed every last one of our ancestors and will consume us just as quickly if we are not successful in our struggle with it.
Thank you, Licia, for that. I am not gonna lie to you, got a little distracted by this blue data stream thing. Last time I followed one of these, and I did it in the proper time, I got a trophy and a star. So that would be cool. I almost lost sight of it though. So I'm not letting this thing off my sight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Where are we going? Don't kill me. I'm keeping this thing close. Me and 1K. Chasing after this blue thing. Ah! Find my sprite and follow it until it leads you back to me. Yes. Another star, baby.
We cannot return to the past, but the future can redeem all that has happened.
Okay. Sweetly. What else do we have to discover in this madness? I know there's a lost lab, another lost puzzle. There's probably a bunch of artifacts that I haven't found. I keep calling them artifacts. That's the Returnal in me talking. I think they're called ancient objects. Whoops. Lovely game. Oh, here's one. Inspect remains. Anchor. An ancient anchor used by seagoing vessels. An early human invention designed to keep boats from drifting by making use of gravity. Anchors also carried many symbolic associations. Nice. So we found one. And we got our star. Lovely little achievements there. Now, this does seem to be an island. So since I'm on an island, it might not be one of them. Could be another hidden switch somewhere. I found one. turned on one. Oh. Wrong way. Let's head towards more question marks. Let's see what I can discover. One's getting bigger. This is 4. See, they make me want to keep sprinting, but sure I'm going to sprint past things. That I don't want. Yeet. Hardcore parkour. Very nice. Very nice. Number 6. Tunnels back that way. Let's see. Lost Lab? Lost Lab. Awesome. Into the tower. God, I love coming into these. They're so different. Oh, whoa. Almost saw the death of 1K there. Final Destination style. Take it easy. They're quite the distance down. Big room full of nothingness. What's inside there? Ooh. Hello? Byron?
This is where they must have lived. Athena and Miranda. You know, for a moment, I almost expected to find them here.
He sounds a little bit
But the
upset.
only thing that's still functional is the megastructure.
Robots can't cry.
I'm sorry. This must be awfully strange for you being thrown into all this history. But that's why I needed you. Because you're not burdened with all these memories and conflicts and regrets. Weigh on our minds like a nightmare.
You're not even a human and you can relate to us, huh?
Our civilization is caught in a loop, 1K. We freed ourselves from the simulation, but now we're trapped again, and it's our own fault. We're afraid of taking responsibility, afraid of growing up. Instead, we make up some capitalized words and build up all these myths around them. Nature, balance, the founder, the goal. We're afraid to face the randomness of the cosmos, but equally afraid to imagine a better world. So we're stuck. I've been trying to find a way out for years. Something, anything, to get people to understand that we do actually have free will. That building a thriving, expanding civilization doesn't have to involve repeating the mistakes of the past. But I failed. Over and over.
This is like a whole nother side of Byron that I have not seen before. He seems upset and frustrated. You think what we've discovered here could change things? Why did you fail?
Because for some reason, people find it easier to cling to cynicism and self-hate than to actually have hope. Because believing the worst about ourselves, calling ourselves sinners and fools, somehow still seems wise.
And you think what we've discovered here could change things?
Yes. Because this is something unexpected, an anomaly. Everything we found on this island challenges who we have become. It shows us that different answers are possible. And maybe that can break people out of the loop. All we need is a spark. Maybe that's why she made all this, the puzzles, the towers. A way of jolting us out of our complacency.
I hope so.
Thank you, 1K. I hope so too.
Damn,
we might
Baron.
be wrong, but let's be optimistic.
Why not? What do
Let's
we
see
got to
else we
lose?
can find here.
Damn, man. What a, that was an interesting interaction with you, buddy. You showed a lot. You were very vulnerable to me. Interesting. I wonder what these depict. A mother and a daughter? I mean, they certainly look like men. They could be robots. I mean, they have ears. They don't got dicks. Anyway. Oh my god.
Melville, eyes on 1K's stream. Is this thing what I think it is?
Blow my fuse box. It sure looks that way. Best not touch it until I get there.
Blow my fuse box and call me Byron, you son of a bitch. That's hilarious. Of course, sound advice, but what is it? Why not? Your advice is hard, understood, and boring as fuses. That's kind of a lame response. You won't get in here in time. My curiosity is too great. Hold on. What exactly did she say? Blow my fuse box. It sure looks that way. Best not touch it until I get there. Is this thing what I think it is? Let's go with why not.
Because you have no idea what you're dealing with, 1K.
I do so. Nor do you. Tell me then.
I think it's a somnodrome. It's a sort of
Somnodrome.
analytics tool for processing mental data that Melampus streamed up.
Melampus.
But all he ever did
Sonodrome.
was sketch out the theory. As far as I'm aware, he never actually built one.
Looks like the founder gave it a go.
Can you explain it like I was born yesterday?
Well,
Please.
what we know is that our deeper algorithms are hard to pass. Melampus stipulated that the computational power to interpret them in real time would always be beyond us. But in theory, the somnodrome would interpret that data and loop it directly to our senses.
People were hoping to find answers to the
Okay.
big questions by having a conversation with our own subconscious. If you ask me, it's solipsistic at best. Pseudoscience
Solipsistic.
regardless.
That may be. But if the founder figured it out, then that device could be an extremely important discovery.
We should try it.
I would advise against it.
Never mind.
You may have survived all those data stream overloads, but
Yeah.
interface with that thing and you're liable to get bricked. Not to mention risking the data we could get from it.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't want to get bricked. Let's get the data instead.
Sounds like a plan. Melville, I'm shutting this thing down until you can get here. 1K, get on with exploring the rest of the lab.
Aye, sir. Look at this. Let's see what they got here. Somnodrome prototype. They were right. That is exactly what it is. Somnodrome prototype notes. Melampus believed that the answers we are looking for, the correct way for the individual to exist ethically in society and the world are within us. Our fair, dude, I'm okay. Figured it the fuck out. Our failure to him was not failing to create a better system, but failing to truthfully reflect what already exists within our minds. A failure of connection between the high and the low, the inner and the outer. On most days, that seems wrong to me, but sometimes, when I think of where New Jerusalem is headed, I wonder if the Somnodrome doesn't hold an answer after all. I took some time to build a prototype according the original blueprints. According to the original blueprints, but there's a lot Melampus didn't account for. Still, I'm almost certain I could apply some of my own knowledge and make it work. The answer is, should I? Hold on. This is from Athena. This was from Athena. Location Tharmas 2. I don't know what that is, but it's from Athena. Oh god, is that the next technology? It's a little... That's as far as we can go until maybe I read this. Like teleportation or something? From Thekla, Noma Project, next, Noma Design. Let's read from Thekla. From Thekla to Athena, beloved founder, wherever you have gone, I continue to have faith in hexadecimal strings. We're taking to have faith in... Just kidding. You are our mother, our creator, the chosen of the progenitor. I am certain that this is a test, a trial like the ones you faced in the simulation. We will learn from your example and keep the faith. Praise your name, Thekla. Tharmas 1. Noma Project, trials 1310 through 1392. Results confirm the anomaly is consistent. Trials 1393 through 1551. There was no error in trial 108. The error is in our understanding. Interesting. Trials 1552 through 1701. We need to start over. Athena. Next. From Miranda to Athena. I went ahead and ran the next set of trials anyway. I know you said to wait, but the data we got from the last batch was just too amazing. Every step leads to the next, like a progression of musical notes. We are so close, Miranda. What do we know about the sun flying too close to the sun in the wax wings? It sounds like I'm saying that wrong, right? Like wax wings, but literally. Some sort of Greek philosophy with, I forgot who already, but it sounds like a little bit of disobedience. That's the answer I chose. I wonder. Noma Design 535A. We keep seeing 535A. Uh-oh. Overload? Yep. We're going in, boys and girls. Actually, it's mostly girls in the chat. Actually,
The
potentially
singularity
only girls.
sustained
Just
itself
me.
longer this time.
Did we get the data?
We did. I
Well,
think
yeah.
we just obsoleted quantum physics.
Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to be able to replicate these results.
You know, I've been wondering. You told me that in the simulation, one thing that kept you motivated was looking for answers. Do you think that with the work we're doing, we'll ever run out of questions to ask?
I don't think so. Trying to understand the universe means asking the same question over and over. How? How do you make fire? How do earthquakes happen? How does gravity work? How do particles behave? You keep digging deeper, finding another set of mechanisms, another set of hows. Step by step, you demystify reality. But then, if you keep doing it long enough, one day, you run out. You've answered all the hows. You know how the universe works. So, now what?
Now you ask why? Isn't that the next step?
It's not quite that easy. The question of why cannot be answered. Even if it could, it would only be followed by another why. At some point, you have to accept that it all just exists. But there is another set of questions. What's next? You've stripped away the layers of mystery, you've laid bare the machinery. Now you have to start building, to add your own layers of meaning.
Interesting. So it's kind of like what she said next in the message. Uh-oh.
Are you okay? You overloaded again.
I'm fine. I saw Athena again. Also, it's interesting that I can jump in those. That's why I was kind of walking around. I was listening, but I was just walking around. Why can I jump, but I can't run there? It just makes you think. I don't know. I'm fine. I saw Athena again.
Yes, I saw. It came through on your stream. Strange to hear her voice again. But that was her. The way I remember her. The real Athena. Not this imaginary founder.
Tell me more about her.
I was one of the first she woke up. There was just a handful of us in those days. A small family in the ruins of a dead civilization. It was hard. Harder than anyone can possibly imagine. We had nothing except what Alexandra Drennan and the Institute left us. Now that everyone lives in civilization, they don't understand how necessary it was for us to build that civilization. They can fantasize about living in balance, limiting growth, retreating behind our walls. They don't understand what it really means to live in the wilderness. How close we came to not making it. How many people we lost. Yema was just the first. But Athena understood. She believed in humanity. She believed in us. In the inherent value of consciousness. Her dreams were so much bigger. She wanted us to reclaim the Earth, to reach for the stars, to build and grow and learn.
We don't know why she left. So why isn't she remembered that way?
The city was already changing before she left, turning inwards, forgetting the future. Once she was gone, other people shaped her memory, turned her into the symbol they needed. I understand all that, as depressing as it may be. What I don't understand is why she didn't tell me. If she came here to do all this, why didn't she bring me along?
I'm sorry, it must have been hard to lose your mentor. She shouldn't have deserted her people. She did what she thought she had to. Yeah, that's interesting, right? I don't know about the third answer. That's kind of like your typical cliche. I agree with the second answer. She shouldn't have deserted her people, but we don't know the reason why. There could be a greater meaning, which I think we're trying to find out. But I also do sympathize for Byron a bit, so I think I'll just take the empathetic approach.
It was. But maybe I was wrong. And she isn't as lost as I thought she was. If this is all the test, maybe the answer is waiting for us in the megastructure.
Probably.
Speaking of which, let's get back to exploring. Melville should have reconnected the next station by now.
Awesome. Okay, let me take a quick break and refill my water and get a propel. And then we'll continue. Be right back. Unpause. Perfect. So, did I... Updating map. Yeah, look at that. Why is that so hard for me? Lost Marshes. We still have another puzzle. And of course another star to find here. And there's another social media and research. So this is Melville's Somnodrone, a prototype device 1K discovered. Good old me, eh? Melampus, one of the loopier first companions, dreamed up the Somnodrone back in the day. It was supposed to help us visualize the black box that is our own internal algorithms, and so provide some kind of moral or spiritual insight. It never properly worked, of course. Apparently, the founder took an interest and experimented further with the technology, correcting some of the mistakes Melampus made. Still a load of tosh, if you ask me, but maybe she made it work. Still a load of tosh, if you ask me, but maybe she made it work. You can hear that in Melville's voice. Melampus, the Somnodrone. To all of you on this expedition, I'm sure you have questions about the Somnodrone, but I'm afraid I can't answer them. It was a dream I had a long time ago, when I was a different person, and it has long since faded. I did build a prototype of sorts, at least one part of its systems, but none of it ever functioned the way I wanted it to. Whatever Athena may have done with my invention, the truth is that I'm simply not interested in the affairs of New Jerusalem anymore. I care as little for Byron's utopianism as I do for Herman's religious pessimism. I'm not sure I care about anything at all, really. In fact, I think not caring may be the only answer at the end of the day. Everything is transient, even the self. I've learned to let go. Please do not respond. I value my privacy. Wow. Look, how did the hell fuck do you get in there? Oh, I can do it too. That'll be fun if that's actually a technology. Oh, that's just a shortcut. Very cool. Good design, guys. I like that. Loop me back around. Alright. A lot of reading and talking. I want to go solve a puzzle. So let's head towards what might be the last question mark. And it's probably the lost puzzle, perhaps. Ah, this looks like it's off the beaten path. And it is. We have another puzzle. Let's get her done, son. Lateral inhibition. Lateral inhibition. Whoa, that's a big fan. Or maybe it's a normal size fan. I'm not entirely sure. And it gets powered via this red. Now, why would you want that? That is the question. I'm not sure yet. This is where I came in? Yes. So right off the bat, we have an inverter. So we could invert this. And that turns on the fan, which, Jesus, that's a strong ass fan. So it could blow something back for us. So we're probably not going to want to do that, right? What we could do is that, get this established, and now get through to this side. Oh, that powers that. Interesting. And then this opens that. Huh. Okay. That's interesting, huh? Well. Alright, let's drop the connections. Bring this with me. Actually, we're going to want to keep that connection. What I'm thinking is... No. Well... It doesn't exactly work the way I'm thinking it would. No, I didn't think about that correctly, now did I? What are we doing here? Right, that gives us extreme blowback. I guess let's keep that how it is. Now, how can we get something else powered for us? What does me flying back do? How does that help anybody? Lateral inhibition. And so that's really the end of it, right? We just have to get... You have to get into there. We have to get something on that. And that solves it. So we're going to have to think outside the box a bit here about what's really going on. Oh. Well, that's an interesting theory. Maybe we don't want blue. Maybe we want red. Now we have a red accumulator. Now, why is that relevant? Not sure yet. But it is a thing. What happens if... nothing is gonna happen. So I don't know if that actually changes it. It's another idea, of course. Still not understanding why the fan is exactly useful yet. It's an interesting thing, though. Because this is obvious, right? It's obvious to use the inverter this way, but what if we went not obvious? And we know we can do that, so it's not like we're losing anything. We know that if we connect blue here, it would do it. I gotta think of the logic here as to what is going on. Does this do anything else? This simply just powers that? And if we're gonna do that, we need to get this down here. So we need to power this while getting something else down there. Even when you do this, you're not seeing anything but the blue. So where... how can we make anything like that work to our advantage? I am not thinking of it properly. Lateral inhibition. Now it's red. I'm thinking it's something like... I don't know how to put this into practice yet. Hell, I don't even know how to really put it out there, but it's like... this reminds me of a puzzle in Gehenna where one of these things had two jobs. But how does that... alright, that's just normal setup. Right? We would do this. It would connect. It would power us through. What am I missing? You know, what does sending something back even do for me? It's tricky. So close, yet so far. This is obvious. We haven't utilized the fan, so there is something I can utilize on the fan that I'm just not seeing, you know? Why don't we break this up? Let's start doing some weird stuff with this. Let's see what we can create. And that would break the connection. I don't know what I'm doing. It becomes blue. Should I start thinking on a Gehenna level about disrupting? How would I make that work? Again, what is my goal? The goal is to have both of these objects down here while that's powered. Which doesn't even really sound possible, so I'm missing something. I do slowly feel tunnel vision coming on. Right, we have a red source from wherever we want. It could also be blue. Let's think about what I just did. This guy... Interesting. So this guy has connections to blue, to me, and to red. If I take it out of the equation, the inverter takes the blue, turns it into red. If I throw red back into it, it just fucks it all up. Because when you have two inputs going into an inverter, it can't invert it. It just ceases to work. Therefore, now I have my final object. That's a good puzzle. That's a good puzzle. And I make it a point to try to work through the logic even after the fact, because sometimes I may luck into a solution, but I want to make sure I understand why it worked. So we just surpassed 2 hours. And all the puzzles are done here. I only found one star naturally. I still do think I'm gonna do stars later. I don't really want to get too hung up on that. Music is so beautiful. I don't know. Something tells me I can get to that island some way. Like there's another switch out there. But I am getting quite tired. So what I'd like to do is just go and... You know, there's another question mark, actually, this way. Is it this? Yeah. Oh, another Trevor. Consume. Vox Pop. This is from Author Unknown. Pharma EXT2. Vox Pop number 9. From an interview with a protester outside the Institute for Applied Mathematics, the IAN. Question. So why did you join this protest? Artificial intelligence is inherently dangerous to this planet's ecosystem. Defending that ecosystem is our responsibility. In which way is artificial intelligence dangerous? I'm not some paranoid idiot imagining Skynet taking over the world, alright? That's science fiction. But what we are talking about here is an artificial intelligence without any of the attachment we have to the natural world. It is not capable of distinguishing between, say, an ore and a tree. Everything's just resources to it. People like Cerebai, I always forget how to pronounce her name, or Drennan talk about ethics and philosophy, but they all embrace the same extractivist ethos that has brought us to the brink of disaster. Their intelligent being would try to optimize the world in its image, and in doing so consume it. When we have hexadecimal string. But so far they are saying it's all theoretical. The atom bomb was theoretical at first too. Once something is there, someone's going to use it. Miranda, why couldn't they imagine that we might care about the world? Athena, I don't know. Maybe because they were too used to no one else caring. Founding 5, Hypatia's Journal, Film number 5. This is from Hypatia. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 200. Construction on our new home is coming along nicely. We finished 2 new buildings last week, and this week we started on our new lodgings. Athena and Cornelius have plans to erect a tower in the middle of the settlement, which will serve as our administrative center and main heliport. But right now, that's still a long way off, decades at the least. It's hard to imagine that one day we'll be able to erect structures like that there will be enough of us to need that much space. But then I look at the dam and I remind myself, our ancestors built that, with their short lifespans and soft flesh and bone bodies. And then I think there's really no limit to what we can achieve, given enough time, patience, and the capacity to dream. And let's hear Trevor's 5th audio log. He's been an interesting lad.
Strap in, this is a long one. You may have heard the story of the carpenter who died to redeem humanity's sins. It's a powerful story, bittersweet, very human, and I just want to tell you that it's true. He was a real person, and his name was John Carpenter. He was born in the year 1948, and he was the coolest filmmaker to ever walk the earth. From Halloween to The Thing to They Live, the totally underrated In the Mouth of Madness, mind you, he just made classic after classic. All of his movies, really fun, really atmospheric, but also really smart. Even when they were goofy, most directors would kill to have made just one of those movies. And what did he get for it? A big, fat truckload of nothing. Well, less than nothing. The studios, the critics, even the fans, they hated him. The Thing, okay, for example, which is about as perfect a movie as you can make, completely torn to shreds. And his career never really recovered. Every movie after that was a struggle, and after a while, he just got tired of it and quit. He only really came back to movies in his 70s. How many works of genius did we never get because of that? Look, I have a point here. People like Carpenter, people like Alex, they're not always appreciated in their own time. If you just do what's popular, you might never create anything important. Of course, we admire people who did the right thing, who didn't conform, but we only ever admire them after the fact. What matters is to support people when it's difficult.
Yeah, people don't get their flowers when they deserve it. Only truly after they're gone. Another palm reader. 3 texts here, and yet it moves. And yet it moves. This is from Mitku. Or Mitku. I gotta remember I'm not playing Neo right now, so not everything needs to be pronounced in like a Japanese way. Mitku. A fascinating story. I discovered in the archive concerns a great scientist by the name of Galileo. This remarkable man made huge contributions to the early development of science, but was best remembered for becoming embroiled in a controversy with the church that ended with accusations of heresy, a trial, and him being placed under house arrest for the rest of his life. The cause of the controversy? Gordita crashing out. Thanks for streaming. Enjoy Talos. See ya. Thanks for hanging out. You have a good one. Hopefully you get some good rest. Always appreciate you joining. The cause of the controversy, he argued that the earth revolved around the sun, a view we would describe as self-evident, and which the Inquisition described as foolish and absurd in philosophy and formerly heretical. Hexadecimal string, another hexadecimal string. Story became emblematic for how society often punishes those who try to push our understanding of the world forward. Another hexadecimal string in the modern day. There's a legend that at the end of this trial he muttered, "And yet it moves," a beautiful idea, but untrue. Because defying society is hard. It comes at a high cost, and not everyone is capable of bearing it. What would you have done in his place? What would I? Mitku. Miranda. I think I would have tried to stand up for the truth. Athena. It's harder than it sounds. Fighting an authority like Elohim is one thing, but when even your friends and allies may renounce you for holding an unacceptable opinion, it takes enormous willpower to continue. Miranda replies, but if nobody does it, society gets stuck. Puzzled. This is from Guo, or Juo, or Jew, or Joe. Is that a weird way of saying Joe? I swear. It's like Neum, but it actually Neve. I don't know. This is an archived post. The role of puzzles in the simulation was so important to the creation of our civilization that it has left an indelible, I don't know that word, imprint. But sometimes I worry that this is an issue. Alexander Drennan thought of human beings as problem solvers, but the real world isn't anything like the simulation. Yes, there are problems to solve, but there isn't a tetromino waiting to reward you. There's just another problem, and another, and another. Our veneration of the puzzle may be blinding us to the fact that sometimes there isn't a neat solution, that sometimes life is just a slog, and the best you can do is muddle through. I think that's fair. Archived message from Aurora to Athena. Dear Athena, have you really left us for good without even saying goodbye? I know we haven't spoken much lately, but isn't that just part of the slow, relaxed lives we now lead? After all those centuries of struggle, trying to build New Jerusalem, I thought we deserved a rest, and if that disappointed you, why didn't you say so? I know you disapprove of all those silly titles they give us now, but we really were your first companions. We know what it was like. I was there when Yemo died. I remember the horror of realizing there was no way of bringing him back, the impossible finality of it. And then the determination to make it make sense, to have it be part of a story that leads to a better world. I never abandoned that, Athena. I just thought that maybe I could spend some time on the things that make life worth living too. Maybe I lost track. Maybe I failed you. I don't know, because you didn't tell me. Aurora. I feel you. I do. All right. So that's all. I didn't get all the stars. Like I said, I'm gonna, like I did in Talos 1 playthrough, I'll probably come back later down the road and do a, look at them, they're walking together. A more, star searching is what I was gonna say, but what is this? Oh, right, this is where I found that spark. Prometheus spark. Cheat codes. This is a way back. I think it's good to catch up with Melville and Al. Let's just finish this off by talking to them.
What made our ancestors settle in these god-forsaken places? It can't have been easy with those frail, squishy bodies of theirs.
Hey,
what makes a caveman go,
take it
yes, this frozen hellscape is where I want to live out my days?
I would live
You
there.
think Byron was right? Is it in our nature to be wanderers?
Yeah, I think we like to overcome challenges, sure.
We do, don't we? A species of problem solvers, like Drennan said. That must be why I sometimes find myself imagining building new cities.
I wanted to ask you something else.
All right.
Did you ever... Wow, we have a lot to talk about here. Did you ever meet the founder?
Of course I did. She and Cornelius were both there when I was born. Neath was just starting to take over back then, and they were still showing her the ropes.
What was the founder like?
Busy. There was always another problem to solve. Did you know that she never upgraded her body? Always prioritized everyone else. That's the kind of work ethic I wish more people had.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I disagree. At least when it comes to myself. For me, living is doing.
Fair enough. Do you ever crave companionship, Mel?
I've never felt the need for a partner as such. I've met a lot of people who do. Athena and Cornelius, Atal and Damien,
Atal.
Sarabai and Hypatia.
Sarabai.
That's not really for me.
Gotta remember those two.
So far, at least. But I do have social needs like anyone. What I like is a pleasant buzz of humanity. Not too close, not too far. Something I can be part of without having it get in my face all the time.
Why do you think the founder left New Jerusalem?
Maybe she just got sick of things breaking all the time.
Could these visions affect my mind?
The data stream overloads. Yes, they could.
Juicy.
There are safeguards to prevent that from happening.
Welcome.
But these aren't exactly
You are at
carefully
the
controlled
tail end of the
circumstances.
stream.
It's hard to predict. Our brains are absurdly complicated, which is why it's so hard to make more of us.
So what exactly can these particle clouds do?
As far as I can tell, anything, which is insane.
In my vision, Athena mentioned a singularity.
Yes. She could be talking about a gravitational singularity. Like the point within a black hole where density becomes infinite and space-time breaks down. But the term has other applications too.
Getting tired. That sounds insanely dangerous to be experimenting with. Fascinating. That must have been some incredibly advanced experiments. What the hell did she say? That is a little dangerous, don't you think there? Let's see what she says.
Depends.
On what?
On how you feel about accidentally destroying the entire solar system.
Okay. How do you feel about Mayor Herman's policies?
I used to think it was the only safe way forward. Keep things simple and under control. Now I'm not so sure that ever made sense.
What do you think about Miranda?
She's so innocent and full of wonder, it should make me want to retch, metaphorically
That's how I felt.
speaking.
That's how I feel.
But I'll
actually.
admit, she's sort of
Growing on
charming.
me? Yeah. I thought she was going to say growing on me. I should get back to work. Team spirit. Talk to each member of your team. Is that really the first time I've done that?
What can I do for you, 1K?
Al, buddy, do you think finding a functional sonodrome would be interesting?
Sure. I think there's plenty inside each of us to explore, and it might give us a new perspective. Will it really answer all the big questions? I don't know, but it might help.
That's all. I think there's an eyelash in my left eye, which would explain the trouble I'm having here. Okay. Let's go build us a bridge and enter the next tower and wrap this sucker up. Where is the tower? This way. I did not solve for this yet. Like I said, I'll come back and explore it at another time. But we have a bridge to build, first and foremost. I need to stay away from that space button. Put her down. Let's put her down. Oh, it's one of these, huh? That ain't gonna work. Let's get this weird guy out of the way early. This might work. Let's just rotate that. Yep. Ah, another vision or audio log thing. We'll listen while we
Sometimes
solve.
it seems the only choices we have are renouncing civilization or mindless expansion. But that's not the only path forward. Embracing deliberate control over nature doesn't have to mean destruction. We are a species of artists and artisans, blessed with the ability to transform the raw material of the cosmos into new and better shapes. Shapes that have meaning. With our technology, we can take this chaotic world, so full of suffering, and turn it into a work of art.
Probably a way to get there. Maybe you had to build this first to get there. Is there like a weird path right here? Maybe. It doesn't look like that's achievable unless you have to go. Damn, you can't even do that. Make the jump. I'm dead. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, I'm dead. I thought I had discovered something. Not quite, my friend. Not quite. Yet I still parkour my ass all the way through because it's fun. Okay. Alright. I've had my fun. Let's... This looks like you can get to it, though. What are they hiding? Oh. Another switch. So we have a switch here. I found two. Interesting. You telling me I can't get to that? Whoa. Really? Oh, that's death. Oh, that's fucked up. They purposely didn't let me go through. Okay. All right. I've learned my lesson. Maybe. Probably not. Okay. I know I said I wanted to go in the tower, but they keep bringing me back. I think there's... I want to know. Make the jump. I wonder if dying resets the switches. They probably do. Oh, in fact, this is... Okay, you rat bastard. What's in here? Ooh, looks like a tricky little puzzle. We're so close. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What do we have 10 of? I can tell you now, it's not stars. It's not sparks. I still think that it's lost puzzles. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're lost puzzles. Understood. It's Stratton of Stajira.
Let us consider the city. What is a city?
I feel like I've heard
It
you
is
say
not
that.
a gift from the gods, nor the product of nature. Unlike a mountain or a river, it is something that must be built through the deliberate arrangements of material by a mind imposing order on the world. And it is built to serve a purpose. To that end, it has roads and fountains and walls. And to the same end, it has laws and leaders. And though each city is built according to a different plan, all cities must serve their purpose, or they will fall and become ruins. Therefore, we may conclude that a city is also a kind of machine, constructed to improve the life of its citizens.
I gotta get back to the shore. I gotta check behind this puzzle. I thought that's where it was. I may have already done this. I don't recall. Who are you again? Is this Mel? What was I trying to find? They keep bringing me back in, these rat bastards. Wasn't it behind this? There's like another island. They keep talking about these islands. Well, they're not talking about it. Is it this way? Yeah. Oh, that's just a lost puzzle. I've done that. Okay, I'm going to the tower. Once and for all. I tell you. That was Stratton. Yeah, we got this section of the game went pretty well. If I do say so myself. I think I performed pretty well. Better than I did in N1, I tell you that. Who are we going to talk to? Gosh, look at this thing. That's crazy. Huh. Let's enter the tower.
Halt, creature of
Pandora.
clay.
Okay.
You have taken another step towards the flame. Before you continue, ask yourself, have the gifts of Prometheus ever truly benefited your people? Or have they brought nothing but strife?
What are those gifts? Lady, I'm a robot.
Prometheus has poisoned your mind. Turn away from the flame, or you will be bound, as he was.
Give me my gun. Flooded Valley. Activate the tower in the Flooded Valley.
3 towers per cardinal direction and 3 entities. You'd think it would be symmetrically arranged. 1 tower per entity, right? But we haven't seen Prometheus at all.
We're built to find patterns. Maybe we're trying to find patterns where there aren't any.
That's interesting. I don't know what that means. Let's go back to my rocket ship. Bow. We will travel to the next one, and that is where this will end. Peace out, Byron. See you laters. See you laters. See you losers later. Jesus. Let's travel. Another good episode of the Talos Principle 2. Part 5 went smoother than usual.
Our ancestors melted a whole lot of ice. After they died, most coastal settlements were claimed by the sea. South of New Jerusalem, there's a whole city under the water. We went there once with Garrus when I was an apprentice.
Underwater?
It was eerie.
That's exactly why the founder created the goal. When you go past the limits, this is what happens. Mother Nature always gets her revenge in the end.
This isn't revenge, Al. It's just failure. People, cities, mountains. As far as the sea is concerned, it's all the same. Their mistake was forgetting that, telling themselves nothing would change. It always does.
All right. The lads have finished talking. And that is going to wrap up part 5 of the Talos Principle 2. I think that the Flooded Valley went pretty well. And we have the Lost Marshes. Marshes? Yeah, Lost Marshes. The northeastern marshes of the island have mostly been lost to the sea, with the exception of this small patch of land. Gosh. Yeah. So, until next time, that's going to wrap this up. So thanks for watching. And I said that the wrong way. How do I usually say it? Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace. Jesus.